And Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. We've now reached the end of the book of Numbers, which at one point may very well have been the end of the Torah. It is the end of the narrative. The people have reached the entrance to the promised land, but they do not cross over. It's an ending that doesn't end. And here they will stay. Oh, people, stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer. Now the promoter don't mind, and the union don't mind, if we take a little time, leave it all behind, and sing one more song. Oh, won't you stay just a little bit longer? Please, please, please say you will. You gotta say, it's an incredibly odd ending, which you're going to see when you read this. We're watching the most unique society to have ever lived. And what certainly seems like a dominant theme is the search for freedom. And that becomes an important part of this week's reading. And freedom comes in so many fashions. And of course, we are reading about the first mass exodus of people in search of that freedom. But it doesn't take a mass exodus. It simply takes each individual, each of you. This journey of the wilderness generation is both a mass journey on the way to a promised land and an individual journey like the one each of us is on. And on that journey, we spend time with people. We move away from them. We meet them again. Together, yet apart. A group, but as individuals. Happy trails to you. Until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together? Just sing a song and bring it sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again. And we go in and out of contact with the groups that we're a part of because we're all on our own individual search. Now, part of my path to the rabbinate was spending a little bit time less focused on knowing the individual laws by heart and more about the intent behind the law, to understand why was this brought into place, the ritual, the prayers, the meaning of the great undefinable spirit that everybody seeks in one form or another. We're all seekers. And to do that, I actually spent a considerable amount of time studying some of the great atheistic writers, or at least who were considered atheistic writers, along with scholars people do not associate with religious thought, in addition to great religious scholars. Now, the greatest freedom is the individual freedom of thought that each of you has, that each of you can pursue. And one of those great writers was Sigmund Freud, who wrote the most brilliant treatise on Moses of its time, Moses and Monotheism, and I encourage you all to read it. It really is quite incredible. If he weren't the father of psychiatry, might have been taken a lot more seriously. But what he said went against what people's thoughts were. But it fit with his study of the mind, the group mind, the individual mind. And one of his other brilliant books was Group Psychology and the Analysis of the Ego, in which he studied the group mentality and what happens to us when we're in a group. He said, only rarely and under certain exceptional conditions is individual psychology in a position to disregard the relations of the individual to others. In the individual's mental life, someone else is invariably involved. Individual psychology is at the same time social psychology. Now, group psychology is therefore concerned with the individual man as a member of a race, of a nation, of a caste, of a profession, of an institution, or as a component part of a crowd of people who've been organized into a group at some particular time for some particular purpose. Now, some of this that he had to say was an extension of another great writer's work, who had said that whoever be the individuals that compose it, however like or unlike be their mode of life, their occupations, their character, their intelligence, the fact they've been transformed into a group puts them in a possession of a sort of collective mind, which makes them feel, think, and act in a manner quite different from that in which each individual of them would feel, think, and act were he in a state of isolation. So the group mind takes dominance. Friends, the collective mind creates a sense of invincible power, kind of like the genie in Aladdin who had invincible power, and provides anonymity, irresponsibility, and accordingly takes intelligence away from intelligent people, and as part of the group, we end up in a waking state of hypnosis. Freud's great warning was that in the mob, we lose our individual sense of right and wrong. We follow the groupthink. Now, 2 of the 10 plagues this wilderness generation lived through dealt with and provided warnings against swarms. Swarms of people are mobs. And the mob mentality is a dangerous mentality. We have seen the damage it wields and has wielded throughout history. And now we see social media has become the new mob. The mob does not encourage freedom of thought, but we all do. And so when we come together, it's not as a mob, but as a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, because we accept everybody, because we come together as a community, a chavura, fellowship. It's different. As we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, that unites us all in this community, house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. So once again, please go ahead, invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, Hine Matov, how good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you control, of what you can correct when you go off. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. Let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing, some renewal energy out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewals for everyone. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. You know, just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam, healing of the world. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We must each do what we can to improve and change our own little corner of the universe, because as we change ourselves, we change the conditions of life and influence those around us. A part of that healing is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. You don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. We pray for those who need prayer, because prayer is an effective method of communication with God, of entreating, of helping ourselves and others. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, goodwill, and life for everybody around us. For Cindy and Jackie, for Snoopy and Donnie, for Kelly, for Virginia and Terry, for Doria, Gloria, Johnny and Fern, Ronnie, Connie, Danny, Nina, Ryan, whose birthday is this week. For all those suffering and in need, let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends, everywhere. For everyone you know in need, for the whole world, for Rosemary. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Makor ha-braha, Bimotenu, Mizos of strength, bless the one before us, help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Baruch, let us all have our spirit renewed. This is the great prayer for healing. Call upon God to heal as He's healed before. Misha Baruch, may He who blessed. Because all healing is a blessing, let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now this week, the interesting conclusion to the book of Numbers is actually another double reading. This week we read mattot and massei. It's about our tribes and journeys. And these very much dominate our lives, the groups around us, the tribes and the journeys we all take on our journey to our own promised land. Now it begins with a reminder to us of the sacredness of vows. If you swear to God, you better uphold what you say. Vows are sacred. Now we tend to treat them a little more lightly these days, but they are palpable. They always were in biblical times, especially. They had weight, gravitas. Watch what you say. Promises made must always be promises kept. I don't care if you never come home. I don't mind if you just keep on rolling away on a distant sea. 'Cause I don't love you and you don't love me. I got a problem. Can you relate? I got a woman. Call it love hate. We made a vow we'd always be friends. How could we know that promises end? La 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 la. Promises. They are the sacred commitments. They are your sacred commitments. Treat them as such. Your life will change when you do. Now, promises were made last week. This week we see they weren't quite kept. Last week we saw women's rights front and center. This week they are tamped down. If a female makes a vow, her father or her husband becomes responsible, not her. And having received the right to inherit, restrictions at the end of this reading are placed on that right. And another very strange event occurs. This week, there's a call for a war on Midian. Now that's where Moses' wife and father-in-law are from. We never see the reason. We are simply told, Numbers 31:1, and the Lord spoke to Moses saying, get revenge for the children of Israel from the Midianites. After that, you'll be gathered to your people. It's a war for revenge. That doesn't quite seem right, does it? After which Moses, of course, will die. Numbers 31:7. And they made a war on Midian as the Lord had commanded Moses, and they killed every male. Now somehow, total death and destruction doesn't sound right either. And then Moses gets upset because not everyone was killed, just the males. He ordered then all children and all women who've had sex killed. This is not normal. This is not how we would approach things. This is a world that's exploding in what we don't know. The Eastern world, it is exploding. Violence flaring and bullets explode. Old enough to kill, but not for voting. Don't believe in war, but what's that that you don't? Even the Jordan River has bodies floating, but you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, that you don't believe on the eve of destruction. wonder if we're on the eve of destruction. It sure looks that way these days. Now, not only should there be a wholesome slaughter, but then we have an explanation on how to divvy up the spoils. And spoils, of course, includes human beings. A nation 40 years from slavery, seeking freedom, practicing slavery. Now, this is a history not told historically. There are things that don't fit. Whereas in that final reading, also there is a proposition of the city of refuge to ensure there is no unwarranted revenge killing, but we just saw a war for revenge. That there's a huge difference between accident and intention, between killing and murder. And society must protect the innocent. So cities were set up to protect them. How do you reconcile protection of the innocent with wanton eradication of a nation? Now, we're always left with thoughts. That's what's wonderful about this organic book. It forces you to think. Now, we may be at the end of the journey, but we're also at the beginning of a very important month that I mentioned last week. This week, Wednesday, in fact, will be the first of the 11th month of the year. And as I mentioned last time, there are two dates coming up to be aware of. The first is Tisha B'Av, the 9th of, the 9/11 of Jewish history. And here's a brief list of what occurred. It's considered a really bad day. Okay, the spies that we recently read about that doomed this wilderness generation to death because of their failure to lead returned with their bad report. Both temples were destroyed on this day. In 1290, the Jews were expelled from England on this day. In 1492, the Jews were banished from Spain on this day. In addition, both world wars began on this day. It's a pretty tough day. And we'll talk a little bit more about it next week. And it's followed a week later by the 15th of Av, that day of the Festival of Love, the roller coaster of human emotions in a week. Despair to bliss. A reminder that like when we eat the moror of Passover, the bitter herbs, we survive bitterness. We taste the sweetness of life. Now next week, we begin the missing book of the Bible, the retelling of the law, with little noticeable differences, little additions, little changes. You can and must question all that you read. You should question everything. We're going to read changes and we're going to be told there should be no changes, right? When you question, it makes you think, it makes you examine, it makes you understand. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share the ride together. Men and women equally. Let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. And take advantage of the time you have. And enjoy your journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our efforts to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our Kavanaugh, our cause, our effect. It's all linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love, because that's always in front of you. And remember to have faith. just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth, even those who you think have done you wrong. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. And work to be present in your body. Expand your heart and quiet your mind. Because the deepest source of your real power, my friends, lies in your consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless, so be generous. As you bless others, you bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a much greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore what faith and belief mean to you. They don't have to be the same as they are for anybody else. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together and we help each other because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them, tell them what they mean. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Listen to the voice of God as he, she, it, not sure what God's pronouns are, talks to you, and think before you speak. Your words can empower and free you. Don't let things get you down. Celebrate your freedom. Celebrate love. And my friends, always look at the bright side of life. Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. This helps turn out things for the best. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life, because there always is a bright side. Now, thank you for joining me, my friends. Celebrate freedom and love, and let the world know that you walk in faith and trust in yourself. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.